Hello, Astronomy 2 class. I just want to talk about a couple of things about the class before you get started. Just some things that you should know. Astronomy is this crazy subject. There's a lot of material covered in it. It's very diverse. We use all kinds of science, biology. We use physics. We use chemistry. We got to use some math to understand it. It's such an incredible topic. So many things to cover. And so you've got a syllabus from me that you're going to access, which is going to tell you a lot of stuff about this class. I want to talk through some of it just so that you get it, and then show you some stuff about the classroom, so you also get that too. Your juniors, your seniors, for the most part, there are a few sophomores in this class. I expect you to act like upperclassmen. I want you to know that all of the school rules apply in this classroom, so you should follow those as well. I also am on the understanding that this is an elective class, so that you elected to be here, and I expect you to act like that. And I also want to tell you that this is an activity work-heavy class. We will do something that you have to turn in almost every single day of the class period. So you have to be ready to do that, whether you are online or in the classroom. You've got a lot of stuff that you're going to need to take care of in this class, because there's so much to learn about astronomy. I can't waste a day. We've got to cover something and pour all this information in your head to increase your astronomy knowledge. It's just how it works. And most of the time we have fun. We learn a lot of stuff. It's really applicable things. So people don't complain unless they don't want to do work. And if you don't want to do work, then you better go talk to the counselors and see if you can get a different class. Just warning you ahead of time. If you want to be successful, you got to give your best effort. You got to be in class, turn in all your work, make sure you have the necessary materials in class to survive, those kind of things. Ask questions, participate. That's going to help you out. So this class is about astronomy. Astronomy's always changing. There's all kinds of new stuff that we're finding out. It just has to do with technology, new discoveries, whether it's something that a rover did yesterday, something that the Hubble Space Telescope took an image of, or a new telescope or something like that. So we're always changing. We're learning new stuff. And what's shocking about it is a lot of the information that we get comes from images. We don't actually get to put our hands on a lot of things in astronomy because stuff is so far away. We either get images of the light sent to us from those objects, or we send a rover there, or we send a spacecraft there, and then scientists have to study those images. So we're going to spend a lot of time in this class looking at images, because that's what astronomers have to do. It's either that or it's data if they want to learn about stuff in space, because we can't go there. Science fiction is not reality yet, so we can't travel across our galaxy or our solar system even in human time scale that we could survive in. So that's how we learn. Also, we're going to have a star party in this class. Now, when you put the word party after something, it sounds like it's really great, but essentially it just means a gathering together, generally in the evening, to look at some objects in space. Now, our plan this year is to do that on September 14th. It's a Monday. It's more likely it's going to be on a Tuesday. I know there's a lot of sporting events that week, and we're going to work around as many of those as we can to get that done. We're going to look at constellations. It will be after school. It will be dark, and it will be on the football field. So we have to be able to pull that off, and we can't do it during school hours. So that is part of your grade. It is a required activity, and you'll need to be there for that. So it should be exciting. It's always a good time. People enjoy it. And I'll see you there, and we'll talk more about it as we get closer to that time. How does your grade work in this class? Well, you need to understand that it's divided up in a certain way. Star parties is 5% of your grade. Classwork is 30% of your grade. Tests are almost half of your grade. So all of these things factor in how your grade is determined for this class. We are going to do 2 projects in this class, one in the first quarter and one in the second quarter. Our first one is a weird space objects project, and our second one is a space probe project. They're both pretty neat. I think you'll enjoy them both. And we'll, again, talk more about those as it gets closer to the time that we're going to do them. Okay? We're going to do all kinds of other stuff. We're going to do labs, worksheets, activities. We're going to do interactive stuff on the computers. We'll watch some videos. All that stuff fits into classwork. And you're going to be busy. So if you're totally remote, it's going to be somewhere around 2 to 5 assignments that you're going to have to do every single week. In the classroom, it'll be roughly the same. So just be aware that we're doing stuff, and you got to be ready to do that. If you're remote, please please email me if you have a question or you're unsure about something. I'm pretty good about responding, although I won't respond to emails after 9 p.m. Between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m., I'm just not going to respond to those because I'm not checking my phone or the computer during that time. I'm generally sleeping, okay? And you should be too. But hey, whatever. Also, you need to sign up for something called Remind. The instructions are also attached here, so make sure that you do that. That way we can communicate through the phone if you'd like to, via texting sort of, and you don't know my number and I don't know your number, and it's great. We can still communicate and do a lot of stuff. I got some other stuff to talk about, so check it out.
Hello, class. Well, at least those of you who aren't here in school, I'm sorry you can't be here. I'm sorry we're having this crazy thing called COVID that is mixing up and confusing our lives and changing how we do things. My hope is that eventually you will be here. We will get this COVID thing under control. We'll get a vaccine. It'll be safe for you to come back. Our numbers will go down. And if that's the case, you need to know about this room and me as a teacher when you're here in the room. So we need to know what you, all the things you have to do and all the places in this room where there's important stuff for you. So we're gonna run through that right now. My classroom is very different from any other classroom in Polson High School. It's got the stadium seating. It looks like a college. A lot of kids say, man, I feel smarter just walking in this room. And that may or may not be the case. Also, I want to tell you about this room. It's sometimes the hottest room in the school, and sometimes it's the coldest room in the school. That being said, you don't have to tell me. You need to bring a coat in the winter. You need to dress appropriately in the warmer months so that you are comfortable and able to learn here in the class. Got it? Great. So let's move on. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to learn about how this classroom functions and where that stuff's at. Hey, characters. Listen, I also need to talk about grades. Grades are posted on PowerSchool. I usually keep them up to date every single week, and sometimes even sooner than once a week, so you can check them at any time and your parents can check them at any time, as long as you're turning in your work. Anyway, your grades are like a pie, and if you like pie, how much of the pie do you want? The whole thing, right? So here's what you need to understand about your grades. If it's like a pie, 50% of that pie is tests, and then another part of that pie is a project, and this might be work, and this might be a quiz, etc. And so if you decide not to do one part of these, you're cutting out a chunk of the pie. And your grade will be greatly affected if you take one chunk out, okay? You need to know one more thing, and that's about copying. Whether it's online or in the classroom, I'm pretty observant and I can see when it happens. So you don't want to do it, you lose half credit, and eventually it can go on your permanent record and you can actually fail classes for doing that. So please make sure that you avoid that, do your own work, it's the only way you're going to learn it. All right? Awesome. Okay. So when you come to class, the important thing you have to remember is that you need to be in class. If you want to be on time, you got to be here before the bell rings. So that doesn't mean you can come bursting in the door and say, I'm here, okay? Because you're not, you're late. So make sure that you get here before the bell rings, that you're in your seat, that you have the information out that you need to get started and you're ready to go, okay? So some things I need to show you that are around the school or the classroom here. When you leave class, make sure that you don't come up here and herd by the door. You're not cattle, okay? So wait in your seat. It probably takes you 30 seconds to put your stuff in your backpack and get out of here. So you'll have plenty of time to get out in the hall and get to your next class. And you'll be okay, all right? One of the weird things that happens in this class, and I'm not sure why it is, but when students go to get rid of papers, they love to take them, put them right in this trash can right here, and instead of the recycle box, which is right next to it. So please move your hand 12 inches to the right, put it in the recycle box. You can see we can recycle pop bottles and cardboard and paper and stuff in here as well, so make sure that you're doing that too, okay? When you come into the class, you want to make sure you look for this guy right here, because there might be a paper that you need to take before you head back to your seat and get ready for class. You are going to be using computers. You'll have one issued to you this year, so you just want to bring that with you. If we ever break away from that and we start using this laptop card here, make sure that you get your computer out of this laptop card and it goes in the correct numbered slot when you're done, and push it all the way in so it charges. When you turn in a paper in this class, there are a couple of different ways that you can do it. Over here next to my desk are these guys right here. These are the turn-in boxes. You can see that they are numbered by class, so make sure that you turn it into the correct slot there. Sometimes I might say, hey, turn it into the box, and that means you got to turn it over there. Or I might say to turn it into the alphabetizer. This is the alphabetizer right here. You can see it's all alphabetical. These are your last name, so you just pick up the letter of your last name, put your paper in there that you. If you need to leave the classroom, if you're sick or like you're going to throw up, you can just like say, "Hi, I'm feeling sick," and you can leave the classroom. Otherwise, you need to get permission to leave the classroom. Freshmen, sometimes you have a planner. If you don't have a planner, you're going to need to get this from me and ask permission to do that so that you can leave the classroom and go to the bathroom or get a drink or whatever it is you need to do. Although you can't get a drink because the drinking fountains are shut down right now. So hey, deal with that. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my desk right here. You don't need to be in my desk. Nothing on my desk is yours. Always ask permission if you need to get something out of that. Okay, that's just respectful. Over here is the storeroom, and everything that's in the storeroom will eventually come out and you'll get to see it, so you don't need to go in there either. It's not very exciting. It's like a closet, okay? Up here you can also see there is a 3-hole punch and some staplers that you are welcome to use as students in this class. Okay, class, I do need to point out a couple other things. There are a lot of supplies that are here for you to use on various things that we do in the class each year. And I just wanted to show where you can get those. Those are located here in the back of the classroom here. You can see all these things that are listed. Just open this cabinet up, and there's all kinds of stuff in here for you. There's scissors and glue sticks and all different kinds of paper and markers. If you need some lined paper, that's in here as well. So all that stuff is available to you. And let's not forget, you're going to want to sharpen your pencil. That's going to happen right here. The last one I want to talk about is your handy-dandy cell phone. Everybody's got one. They're ubiquitous. We all use them. I use them, you use them, your parents use them, your friends use them, and that's the deal, okay? They do incredible things. I never could imagine something that is that small that you could use for all the things that we do today. However, I want to tell you, when it comes to education and cell phones, there's a lot of research that shows they're not very good. And so when you bring them into class, they need to be shut off and put away in your backpack. Ladies, not between your legs on the seat and not out on the desk, okay? There's several reasons why. A lot of research, and you're welcome to look some of this up on your own because there's been a ton of research done on cell phones. But the first thing is you can't multitask. It's impossible. Your brain only works on one thing at a time. And phones will distract you even when you're not using them. You can put them on the desk in between you and somebody else, and you're like, did it just buzz? I need to check it, and then you're being distracted. Also, it reduces closeness and empathy if you put your phone on the desk because it says to somebody else, this phone is more important than you and I are. So you gotta be careful about that. Being able to focus and not be distracted is a huge indicator of success, but this is a killer one. This is a study that they did in a Class A school in Montana, not this one, but a different one. So exactly the same size school here in Montana, and they found out that if you ban cell phones, okay, students on average score 6% higher on tests. And disadvantaged students, these are students who usually do poorly on tests or struggle for whatever reason, they do 14% better on tests. So please, I'm just trying to say, when you bring when you come into the science classroom, put your phone away, put it on silent. We don't want to hear it, we don't want to see it. There's a clock in the room so you can tell what time it is. There's no reason for that. All right, I think that I may have covered everything that I need to. You'll also get some answers from your syllabus in order to fill out that orientation sheet. So lots of luck to you. Good job.